Welcome back to Beyond the Badge. I'm your host, Dalia Veronica, and today I'm honored to sit down with someone whose story represents strength, resilience, and dedication in the world of corrections. My guest today has worked corrections. She's a woman who leads with integrity, and today she's here sharing her story right here on Beyond the Badge. Let's get into it. Hi, Miss Hoyt.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm well. I'm so glad. I'm thankful for you being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
for having me.
So before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Wow. Well, I am a 22, maybe 23-year veteran in law enforcement, period. So I went from corrections to being a police officer to juvenile detention. So I've done a multitude of different things in law enforcement. I'm a mother of two.
Okay.
And a grandmother to one. Both my kids are in college.
Okay.
So the youngest one is, I think they're both studying psychology, clinical psychology, but the youngest one is here with me, going to Norfolk State. The oldest one is going to New York State.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm just a lovely person.
Yes.
Just trying to make it through.
Okay. So when you actually first started corrections, you were in New York or... Okay.
I was in New York.
So you started corrections first, or?
So I started working for NYPD first.
Okay.
So I did 15 years at NYPD. And I worked in schools. I worked on the street and stuff like that. It was a little different. But when I got here, I faced the challenge of getting on the police squads out here because of my rank out there and then me coming here. It wasn't a tie between, you know. It's like, oh, you got to start over from the beginning. And I'm just like, ooh. I don't have it in me to start over from the beginning. Right. So you always go back to what you know.
Right.
I know law enforcement. So I said, okay, well, I can do corrections. So then I wound up coming to the different jails out here.
Okay.
And I served as an officer for maybe a couple of months to a year. And then I was like, no, I can't do the 12-hour shift anymore. So then I went to being a civilian.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But in New York, I also did corrections in New York. And I wound up getting pregnant, so it didn't last long because you can't. I mean, you can be a correction officer pregnant, but I didn't want to have my baby in that area and that side of law enforcement. And I was like, okay, well, I got to go back, because they were just telling me. It was 2007. They was telling me like, after you have the baby, you got to come right back to work. You only get 6 weeks, and I was just like, can't do that. So I wound up going back to NYPD, and it was good there, and I just stayed there until I moved here. And then one day I just woke up one day actually and was like, I think I'm going to do juvenile corrections. And I did that for a year, and then I was like, no, I don't have the energy and patience for children anymore. So I've been all over.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. That is absolutely amazing. So what originally led you into corrections?
Being in New York. Just a thrill.
Just a thrill. Okay.
A thrill to try something new.
Yes.
And it was amazing. It was amazing until you're met with a situation where someone has a bad day.
Yes.
Because they may have gotten sentenced to a huge amount of time and you say the wrong word.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you see something happen and then you're like, okay, can I deal with this and take this home to my kids every night? And after seeing somebody I know say good morning to somebody who was sentenced to 25 years of life, and it wasn't a good morning for him.
Right.
And the outcome for that person wasn't a good outcome either.
Oh my goodness.
Put hands and feet on that person for saying good morning. So I was just like, I can't do this.
Right.
Not to take it home to my little people.
Yes.
Because then you're disgruntled all day because you're dealing with their disgruntledness and taking it home. So I just said I couldn't do it anymore.
Wow. And sometimes like we don't realize what people are actually going through. Not even in our corrections world, but even outside too. Yeah.
Because I learned my 40-some odd years on this earth, everybody's not having a good morning.
Exactly.
Everybody's not having a good day. Everybody's not having a good evening. Even though you try to be polite in the moment, it doesn't mean that that's what that person is feeling. So sometimes it's just okay to say morning or just nod your head. Because in the moment, that person may be mad, and maybe later on, he might come back to you and say, hey, I seen that you was trying to say hello to me, but in that moment, I wasn't in the mood. But thank you for acknowledging me, So.
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Welcome.
So you've worked in different environments. What's the biggest difference between where you started and where you are now?
Well, for me, it wasn't much of a big difference.
Okay.
Because I've practiced both.
Yes.
And in most of my career field, I use verbal judo.
Yes.
Right. So,
absolutely.
And that's something in corrections you use a lot because you don't have a weapon at the time when you're in there. So it wasn't much of a big difference for me. I just like to talk to people, although I'm introverted. I like to talk to people because you never know what someone is going to do. And that I might say something that might make somebody have a much better day.
Exactly. Yes.
So it wasn't a big difference. Like I hear some people say coming from outside to inside, it was a big change because outside you had a weapon.
Right.
Inside you don't. But I'm like, it's the same thing. Because you're trained to always de-escalate.
Yes.
So even if you're outside, you shouldn't always want to reach for your weapon or your taser or your mace or anything.
Exactly.
You should be able to talk to somebody to de-escalate.
Yeah.
And that's what you learn on the inside because on the inside you don't have anything.
Exactly.
But your voice.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to learn how to use it.
Yes.
Well, even if some people are real quiet.
Yes.
But all you have to do is project. And you can still be quiet and project and still command attention.
Yes.
Or, attention and stuff like that. So, and take a control over a room. You do it all the time.
Yeah.
You do it all the time. It's just confidence.
Yes.
Confidence.
That's exactly what it is. Confidence. And that's what I try to tell the new hires that come in to our building. Like, you have to have confidence because if these inmates see you and you don't have confidence, they're going to eat you alive.
Yes. And I also used to tell people, confidence is not something you learn.
Right.
It's something you're born with. So if it works for me, don't try it.
Exactly.
Right? Because what works for me doesn't work for you.
Absolutely.
And I don't really speak much. Like my facial expressions normally tell what's going on. It normally tells what's going on or how I'm feeling. So if I have to speak, I will speak. Well, some people call it an aggressive tone because I'm from New York, but more animated tone.
Right.
I project and I move my hand, a lot of hand.
Yes.
So I always tell people, you just got to believe in yourself.
Exactly.
And for me, being an introvert, I didn't know I had confidence until I had to use it.
Wow.
Right. Because I'm the baby. Well, I'm not the baby, but I'm number 3.
Okay.
So, it was always my sister because she's the oldest. And then my brother passed. So then it was me and then the baby. But, you have the older sister. So you're always in her shadow. So once I got older, there was no more being in my older sister's shadow.
Right.
It was, okay, you're an adult now. You have to figure it out.
Yes.
And then one day I just went to work and I was like, who are you talking to? And it was like, I'm talking to you. And then, my supervisor at the time was like, you got a voice? And I'm like, yeah. She said, well, you found your confidence. Because I was always that one person that just be like,
yes.
Because I always had my older sister. But then I learned, like, listen, she's not going to be here with me forever. So you have to find your strength, your courage, and your confidence.
And it's funny that you said I'm the oldest out of my siblings, but everyone thinks that I'm the baby. And they're the ones who are always like barking. And I had to learn that too. Like I had to learn it because every time someone would say something to me, I would just be like, okay, don't say anything. I tried to avoid confrontation, but it was like, you're not, if you don't speak up for yourself, then no one else is going to speak up for you. And then they're going to continue to treat you as if. So my baby sister and my second sister, them two are the ones that are like, they're ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm the peacemaker.
With my older sister, it was more of, because we're 8 years apart.
Okay.
Right? So it was more of, I was her daughter versus her sister.
Yes.
So it was, and my brother, like he's 4 years younger than, but he died so early that I didn't really get to experience much with him. I only lived with him until I was 10. So he died at 14. I was 10.
Oh, wow.
So she became the shield. It was like, I have to shield her. But I was really quiet anyway. I was the kid that didn't like outside and stuff like that. So when I did come outside, it would be like, oh, we're going to bully her.
Yes.
And I got bullied for being skinny.
Oh my
Because all my
gosh.
friends was heavy set and I was
Yes.
skinny. And my sister used to say, you gotta say something.
Yes.
You gotta say something because if you don't say nothing now, you're gonna fall for anything
Yes.
later. And then my mother was the same way, you know, like if you don't fight them, you're gonna fight me. And I used to sit there like, oh gosh, how do I figure this out? And one day it came.
It clicked.
It came because I was like, I can't run get my sister for everything, right? And although she would have come, because even now here in my 40s, if I call my sister, she coming. But it was like you have to find your voice. And then, you know, working with some women, Black women, a lot. They're really aggressive and mean.
Yes.
And my sister was like, you, as an adult, I can't fight all your battles.
Right.
You have to learn how to fight your battles. And then when I found it, she was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't think I want her to have it anymore. Because then it was like a nonstop. Like, you're not going to do that to me.
Exactly.
You know?
You're not going to talk to me that way. Yes.
I tell some of the inmates that too.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I tell them just because we're officers, we're not always right. I know that you have to listen to us, but we're not always right sometimes, right? And, you know, some of them try to abuse it.
Yes.
And some inmates listen. Like, I'm like, you don't use the fact that someone tells you to speak up for yourself as a control tactic. You know, but you're supposed to speak up for yourself. If an officer tells you something that you don't think is right, I get it. You shouldn't say nothing because they're in control. But if it don't sound right, you have to defend yourself.
So, yeah.
By using words.
Yes, exactly.
You know? Exactly. You know, everybody has a boss. So if I say something to you that you don't like, or if I put you in an awkward position that you don't like, you have the right to pick up that pen and paper and you have the right to write it up.
Yes.
Because the same way I could bring charges against you, you could bring charges against me.
Yes. Wonderfully put. Yeah. So, what has this job taught you about resilience?
Oh, gosh. It taught me, well, first off, it taught me to fight. And, you know, resilience is the fight to stay strong.
Yes.
It's the fight to be seen, and it's the fight to be heard. And as a woman in corrections, we have to.
Yes.
Because we're always outshadowed by the men. However, it's the women that runs the jail.
Yes.
You know, so it taught me to fight for my place, not to always allow a man to make me feel less than or treat me less than what I am.
Exactly.
Because, you know, sometimes we're bigger than they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even though it may not be in physical stature, but our tone, the way we nurture people, you know, the way we listen, we understand. It taught me to keep fighting. Because, you know, men can sometimes make you feel like you should leave.
Exactly.
And
that you don't belong here.
Right.
Yes.
And I belong in every room that they belong in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can you share a moment from earlier in your career that shaped the way you operate today?
So it was something that happened back in 2000, I think it was 7, because I was pregnant. So this time I had gone back to NYPD, and I was at a school, and a young lady was, I mean, nasty, disgusting, deplorable. She was spitting on me.
Oof.
And I found myself, I was upset because I'm like, little girls don't act like that. I don't know what happened to make her act like that, because something could have taken place. But by the time I got there, she was like being unruly to other people. And I tried talking to her, and she spit at me. I don't believe in force, excessive force. But that day I had to use excessive force. And I picked her up and body slammed her. Now I'm pregnant. And it hurt me to do that to her.
Yeah.
Right? Because her face was bleeding and everything. I bust her mouth. And I said, you know what? The next time a situation like that happened, I will find out what happened first before I react. Although she was spitting, I could have just separated her.
Yes.
And placed her somewhere else. But when she spit at me, it took me from being a professional to being someone on the street. Because my mind just did a quick shift.
Yes.
You know, I just acted in the moment instead of thinking that was a kid. So I promised myself from that day forward, I wouldn't do that. I would actually, you know, when I walk on the scene, I would look and see what's going on. I would assess.
Yeah.
Because something could have really had happened and someone could have been antagonizing her. And because I walked up, I seen her as the aggressor.
Yes.
Right. So I promised myself I wouldn't do that again.
Oof.
And that made me just think about when I'm on the inside.
Yes.
You can't always jump, although you need to separate them, you
Mhm.
can't always jump to conclusion because what you see may not be the actual thing that happened.
Right.
You need to always assess and reevaluate.
Yes. Wow, that gave me goosebumps. That gave me goosebumps. All right, so how do you stay so mentally strong after witnessing so much?
I go to counseling.
Okay.
I really go to counseling, and I go because it's a lot.
Yes.
Sometimes it's overwhelming because as a woman and a mother, we nurture.
Yes.
But then when we're put in the situation where we have to nurture or be nature towards people, it's like it takes a toll on me.
Yeah.
Because I don't like for people to be treated less than. And I don't like to treat people less than.
Yeah.
So when I see an inmate treating another inmate less than, as a mother, I want to protect them. But as a professional, I can't. I know I can't.
Yes.
So I mean, I can protect them by separating them, but I want to coddle them and tell them it's going to be okay and stuff like that. So sometimes I have to decompress and go to counseling because it's really a lot. From seeing people harm themselves and other people getting harmed other ways and families turning their back on them.
Yes.
And leaving them in, and they don't have things and stuff like that. Sometimes that take a toll on me because I have such a big heart.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Wow. So what's changed the most in corrections since you began?
The cameras.
Yes.
The cameras.
Yes.
When I began years ago, there weren't cameras.
Right.
So when they started saying that they was bringing cameras in, they said it was to protect the officers. In some instances, it is protection. In other instances, it's not.
Right.
So it's like a double-sided coin. Like we need it in certain instances, but then certain instances, y'all use them against us.
Yes.
That's one thing that changed. The age level has changed also because you're starting to find more youth.
Yes.
Committing these crimes, and they have no remorse about the things that they're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
And even the age of the officers is starting to change. I remember it used to be 21 years older.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to see some places taking kids 18 years older.
Yes.
And I'm like, how do you give somebody who's not old enough really to take care of themselves a job where they're responsible for taking care of other people, grown people, right? And then they're still mentally immature.
Yes.
So the manipulation has gotten bigger in jails, as in prisons and stuff as well.
Yes. Well, I didn't even think about it like that. Now I know, like with the age group, yes, I'm like, man, sometimes, when I see that, I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know, And then I think about it as if that was my child. I know my children and I know their maturity levels and I know, each and every, individual one of them. And I don't know.
And it's also like the job itself has changed.
Yes.
Right. I remember, I think it's before, it's like 150 people to one person, right? But when you think about sticking a female with 150 males or even 90 males or even 30 males,
right,
that one female cannot keep it contained, right? Because you're getting sexually harassed from this one, this one is arguing with that one, this one over here is plotting on you. So that has changed a lot because, before it used to be at least two people, or someone always had your back. And like now it's like, it's more of you scared you rather be with the inmates now than be with your own partners because you don't know who's going to set you up. So the loyalty and integrity a lot has changed.
Absolutely. Yes. Integrity.
Yeah. Changed a lot.
Yes. What advice would you give a young lady entering this field today?
Oh, well, one will be always believe in yourself, right? Because if you don't believe in you, nobody else can believe in you.
No.
Never back down. And that goes for male. You don't back down from a male.
Right.
You don't back down from your colleague.
Right.
Even if you feel like your superiors don't back down either, because a title, that's exactly what it is, a title.
Yes.
They're human just like you.
Yes.
Everybody make mistakes.
Yep.
So don't back down. Always, like I said, believe in yourself.
Stand your ground. Yes.
Stand your ground. Another one is, although you wear a multitude of hats, sometimes you have to pick one. Right? We like to change hats a lot.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to pick one and stick with it. And being a young lady in corrections, most of the time you have to stick with being an officer, because our heart will get us in trouble.
Yes, absolutely.
Our heart will get us in trouble. Try not to be gullible, because here, I can speak for here in general, 12 hours. You got 12 hours. But they have 12 hours.
Exactly.
In your 12 hours, you getting your job done. However, in their 12 hours, they're assessing everything you're doing, getting to know how your hair looks, how you sound, how you're dressed, if you're emotionally depressed, if you're psychologically depressed, if you're being abused at home. So they have 12 hours to get to know you.
Yes.
So you have to always come in there, even if you're broken.
Exactly.
Come in there like you're not.
Exactly.
Make sure your uniform is always ironed and clean. Your hair is conformed perfectly.
Absolutely.
Don't give them any signs to show that you have weakness.
Yes. Absolutely.
So pick a hat and stick with it, because sometimes as women, we forget, and that's how we get caught up in the falling in love with an inmate. And I off topic, I know. God, we can't help who our heart loves, right? Because God, your heart, love is an emotion that God gives you. So you may fall in love with someone who's in prison, right, or jail, but don't act on it.
Exactly.
Right? Don't act on it. Yeah. Just because that person is giving you, trying to give you everything that you're looking for, they can't give it to you.
Right.
Right. They're locked away.
Yes.
So always stay true to yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Just always stay true and believe in yourself.
Yes.
And you'll be fine.
I love it.
You'll be
And
fine.
yes, those are the same exact words that I say when I'm teaching a new class. I always tell them, don't come in here, especially when I see them, and it's our younger ones too. They come in, their uniforms are all wrinkled and stuff. And I'm like, I pull them to the side. So I don't talk to them in front of everybody else, because I don't want them to feel like, oh, she's maybe embarrassing me. Certain people can't take certain things. Yeah. Yes. So I always try to talk to each and every individual on a one-on-one basis, away from everybody else, and give them guidance. Give them a little bit of mentorship.
Yeah.
And always just let them know, before you go back there, just make sure you look at yourself in the mirror.
Just how you gonna tell somebody else how to dress if you don't know how to dress? If you come in there wrinkled, why you gonna tell me that my jumpsuit don't look right?
Right.
Right?
Yes.
You got coal in your face. You ain't washed your face this morning. How you gonna tell me to go take a shower? Another thing is, don't be gun-ho, because some of them come out the academy and maybe because I'm gonna do this and don't do that, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna lose.
Yes.
You're gonna lose every time.
Single time. Yes.
You're gonna lose. So find your niche and what works for you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And I know, very old school. Very, very old school. Probably shouldn't do it anymore, but it's very old school. The training, what you learn in training, yes, it works. But you also have to make it work for you. And there's going to be some things that you do that's not from training.
Right.
But you have to fit it in between them lines, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So some things like, you can't deviate from counting and stuff like that.
That's right.
Like if you you got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't deviate and be like, okay, well, I see these 3 go out. Because sometimes 1 and 1 ain't always 2.
Exactly.
Sometimes 1 and 1 might give you 5. Right? But you always have to find your niche.
Yes.
But don't be gun-ho. Because what worked for me, if I go up in there and grab somebody up and I'm playing with them, that might work for me.
Yes.
Now you go do that. You might wind up on your neck.
Exactly.
Right? So always find what's best for you, and don't be gun-ho. Don't use inmates to do your job.
That's right.
Inmates should not police inmates.
Exactly. Inmates should not be counting trays for you. Inmates should not be going behind you and counting.
To make sure you did correct. Because guess what? If I'm an inmate, if I'm counting behind you, I'm not going to give you the right number. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes. I completely agree. Completely agree.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, we see that though.
Yeah. And some of them think it's right.
Yes. After we tell them, don't do it.
And then they wonder why they get fired.
Right. Yes.
But yes, always just try to be yourself. And if an inmate tell you that you're beautiful, ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I learned as an officer is, I love perfume. I started to smell like a man. I will wear men cologne. So if you tell me I smell good, that's an issue. Because I smell like a man. Right? And
yes.
Don't switch up your walk, because a lot of girls, when they get around men, they switch up their walk. Because you might just walk straight, next thing you know, you're pigeon toe. Or not needed, or bow-legged.
Right, yes.
Right? And then you might wear your uniform loose at one moment. Yes. Next thing you know, your uniform is like 5 sizes too small.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that you're just telling them, you're enticing them.
Yes.
Right? And so sometimes you have to remember you're the only one there.
Yeah, exactly.
And you never know what's going on in someone's mind. Because some people are there for things that, some bad things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
Always.
So you did the corrections, you did the juvenile, you did PD, and now you're civilian. So you're dealing actually now with their times.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that on a daily basis?
So when I first started, it was complicated because I've learned paperwork from different aspects. Yes. So when I came to do that, it was green. Like I didn't know anything. After doing it so long, it's become like it's repetitive.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hard because sometimes the courts they send you one thing, but they tell them something different in court. Oof. So sometimes you have to look at the paperwork then go back and talk to someone and be like, hey, well, the paperwork say you got this. And they're like, well, no, I only got this. So you're going back and forth.
Yes.
So that can be hectic sometimes. It can also be hectic when they've been into multiple different areas, multiple different jails and stuff like that. And you have to kind of find credit for them and calculate or when the laws change, right? Because I think they have a new law and it's like 50%, but everybody doesn't qualify for 50%.
Right.
So then you have to explain to each person what qualifies and what doesn't qualify.
Yes.
Or then you have somebody that committed a crime back in 1991. But since 91, the law has changed multiple times.
Absolutely.
So you might be calculating somebody from 2021 at this number, but somebody from 1991, you calculate them at this number. So the numbers change.
Oh my
So every couple of years, they change the percentage that people get off. They change how you calculate it. You have some people who were qualified for the 65% or for their sentences, right? But it only went for certain crimes.
Gotcha.
But they don't explain that to them. They just say, you get 65% off.
Yes.
So then we have to explain to them, well, the 7 majors don't get 65% off. And a lot of people don't know what the 7 majors are, which is rape, murder, arson, certain robberies.
Okay.
Being a terroristic threats and stuff like that. So it's some of those don't qualify for that. But you have to explain this to them, and they don't understand it.
They don't. And some of them, they'll be in the units, and they'll be like, hey, I've had this much time. I've been here this much time. I just got sentenced, and I get 65%. No,
I don't know that.
I don't know. I need you. Yes, I need you to write to our records department so that way that they can assist you with this. And I always tell the new officers the same thing. Do not go into the computer and tell these inmates, oh, well, your release date is this date.
Don't do that.
Or, I think you should be getting out around this time. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
You don't know. Yeah.
Right.
So don't do it.
Just like for us, we don't give out DOC. Right. So if you get sentenced to local time, I don't have a problem with calculating it for you, right? Because I know what it is. Department of Correction time, I don't touch.
Exactly.
And that's not my lane.
Exactly.
I don't get paid for that because their stuff is completely different.
Yes.
They have different graphs and different calculations and stuff that they use and stuff like that. So it gets to the point where sometimes it can be exhausting because you have attorneys who will go, you've been there before and you can use that time. So if hypothetically, if you was there for robbery,
yes,
right, and then you come back for murder, you can't use the
you
credits. Two
can't.
different
No,
things. But an
exactly.
attorney would tell you that you could, because there's no such thing as debt time, which it's not, right? But they don't explain to them that
Right.
that debt time only goes to that charge.
Right.
Now you have some attorneys who will petition a judge for them to use it, and sometimes the judge say yes.
Wow.
Right? But really, it shouldn't be, right? So, if, like I said, if you got robbery and come back from murder, I'm not going to give you a credit from. You might have served 3 years for robbery, but I'm not going to give you that towards murder because it's two different things.
It's two different things,
But
absolutely.
inmates don't understand that.
Exactly.
And then they have this thing when they get like probation violations. Well, it's only one probation violation. I should only do 5 days. No, because if you were sentenced to 5, so if your original charge was robbery and you were sentenced to 5 years with 4 years and 6 months suspended, you still got 4 years and 6 months suspended over your head.
Yes.
Right? So you did 6 months, but now when you come back for your violation, they can give you anywhere from 5 days to 6 months, or they can take the 6 months from there and just leave you with 4 years. So it's a large magnitude of things that different things that go on with the calculations and the courts and the numbers. So sometimes it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot because parents don't understand. You have parents who really don't understand what's going on, and then, like you said, you have officers that tell inmates their release date, but it may be in a system,
right?
But you only get released if your check's clear.
Yeah.
So if I go to run a clear check on you and it says that you got a hold for another jurisdiction or another state that want to pick you up,
right?
You're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
You're not going anywhere. Or you have a ATF hold or a marshal hold. You're not going anywhere. So that's one thing I would ask the officers to stop doing. Like, please stop telling them their release date.
Yes, exactly.
Stop calculating for them, because when you calculate and you get them a date, the first thing they do when they reach out to me is, well, Officer Bob said
yes,
that I'm leaving tomorrow.
Yes, exactly.
Right? You right? That's no,
right. Yes,
Yeah.
Officer such and such said no.
Yeah.
I just sometimes I look plus I'm like, well, I don't know why they would have told you that, but you might want to write to records.
I get cursed out all the time. They be calling me effing retards, dumbasses. I mean, I get cursed out all the time.
No,
because I'm like, it doesn't work that way, and I try to explain it to them. So I normally call them down. I don't really like to do the whole email paper thing, because emailing it can get misconstrued. Absolutely. Right? Yes. So I can write something one way, and how you interpret it is on you, because interpretation and what is it? My brain has just left me for a minute. But how you interpret something doesn't always mean that's how I wrote it. Yes, exactly. Right? So just like with perception and attention, I might have written it this plain, and you might have perceived it something completely different. Yes. Right? So I don't really do the whole email thing. I'd rather just pull you down and talk to you face to face. So when you go to someone and say, well, such and such said, you can actually say, well, Miss Hoyt, the one with the glasses, told me X, Y, and Z. Yes. And I can actually say, yeah, I told you that. Exactly. And emotion wise, because some people are very emotional too. So sometimes emails can be taken out of context. Absolutely. So I try not to do it. And then, some people write the way they speak. So if my English is not good to you and I write to you, it may come off condescending. Yes. And I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm just trying to explain to you what's going on, but you may not take it that way. You might just think that I'm being rude or something like that. So I'm into just face-to-face connection and talking to people. Thank you for that. Yes. And I know that definitely helps. It helps a lot. It does. It definitely does. It helps a lot. Well, thank you so much for taking your time again to being here. Of course. And it's women like you that possess that strength, the resilience, that give an open forum for other women to say, you know what? I want to do that. I want to do that. Yes, ma'am. I want to do that. And I'm so glad that you are here today to tell your side of the story. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for inviting me.
I loved it. Thank you. Yes. And for those of you watching, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for taking your time out to listening to Miss Hoyt's real stories. She is a beyond the badge female voices in corrections. Until next time, thank you.